And welcome to our lesson on creating a graph from the line equation, and we're going to use our general line equation to talk about how we're going to do this. So remember, our general line equation is y equals m times x plus b, where m is our slope or our multiplier and b is our y-intercept for the line that we would put on here. Now I'm using a Cartesian grid, and if you remember, we've got our x values here and our y values here. Our x increase in a positive manner right here, so for instance 1, 2, 3 and so on, and they go in a negative manner on the other side of this y-axis, so for instance -1, -2 and -3. Below the x-axis our y has negative values, so -1, -2 and -3, and above the y-axis they have positive values, -1, -2, or sorry, +1, +2, +3, and remember we're labeling the lines, not the spaces here. So just in the interest of keeping things clean later on when I put the line there, I'm just going to erase those right now. You don't have to erase them on your work. So what this line equation is telling me is whenever I have an x value, I can use this equation to find out what my y value is. And what we're referring to is any dot on this grid system requires two numbers in order to find its location. We need to know its x number, so basically what line it's on, left or right. And then after we've located that line, for instance, let's say it was this line right here, we need to know where on this line, up and down, we need to stop in order to put the dot. And that's what our y value is. So for instance, if it was y is equal to 3, I would put a dot right there, and that would be part of the line that we're discussing. So here, in order to find out our coordinates, I'm going to actually need to pick some random x values. I'm going to say -2, 0, +2, and +4. And I need to use those with my line equation. And I'm going to change this line equation to something more specific, and I'm going to say its y is 2 multiplied by x and add 1. Now if I look at this, my y-intercept gives me a clue for my first dot. And what that tells me is the y-axis has an x value of 0. So I know that at 0 and +1, this line is going to cross here because that's my y-intercept, the +1. So to find these other ones, I need to use my equation. So for instance, I would have y equals 2 multiplied by -2 plus 1. All I've done is I've substituted one of these values into the equation. So this is what is my x value, and I put that x value in here. I can only do one of them at a time. So here I would do 2 multiplied by -2 is -4 plus 1. So -4 plus 1 is -3. So this is -3. Again, I substitute a +2 in here. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I know that when x is +2, the y value is +5. And this next one is a 4, so 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I can put these on my grid now. So at -2, so when x is -2, I know my y value is -3. 1, 2, 3. So right here would have to be a dot. I've got the 0, so at +2, when x is +2, I need to be at +5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when x is 4, I need to have a y value of +9. Now I can take those dots, I can join them together, and you can see they all are on a line, and we should name our line whenever we do a graph like this. We should name the lines that we have. So this is y equals 2x plus 1. And that's how we take our line equation and convert it into a graph.